Hey guys, still here and welcome back to more Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Today's scenario sent in by Colonel Elfwyn. All of Osea is celebrating the thrashing of the French as you begin to plan on what to do with the Alsace BB that you'll be receiving. You are torn between making it a battle cruiser or turning it into 3 Yukon-class heavy cruisers. But now is the time to have some fun with the crews for morale purposes. Tomorrow, it's back to the docks to oversee the construction of the Razgriz and the Yukon-class heavy cruiser. Because of the Razgriz class, the Kestrel class are being refitted to become battle cruisers, which will give you 4, or 5 if you turn the Alsace into a battle cruiser. It is now December 1941. You are sitting at your desk when a young lieutenant enters your office unannounced and out of breath. He salutes, and you return it. He says he has an urgent telegram for you, and he hands it to you. Your face goes pale as you read it. The Japanese have attacked the US Pacific Fleet at Pearl Harbor and have rendered it nearly useless with 6 battleships sunk, namely the USS Arizona, which was split in 2 and taking 1,000+ crew with her. Now, only a handful of light cruisers and destroyers remain. You understand that while Osea and the US have remained out of the war, now both countries have been forced to join the global conflict. You also know full well that the US will call their loaned shipbuilders back home to help rebuild the Pacific Fleet. A few weeks later, the US comes for that very reason. However, about 20% of them opt to remain in Osea to finish the final ship of the Razgriz class. There are no objections from the US. In the meantime, the 2 completed ships are at anchor, drawing everything in sight, and you can't help but smile at how impressive and larger than life they are. That's when you are given a report that you never thought you'd hear. Chinese ships are crossing the Black Sea. Early scout reports count 3 battleships, 5 heavy cruisers, and 7 light cruisers. You're literally drooling at the fact that you get to put the Razgriz through its paces. As you get closer, you begin to realize that the Chinese ships are not as old as imagined, and that they also have a pair of battle cruisers. But you have the Razgriz class, the battle cruisers, and the Yukon class heavy cruisers. So, fortunately, I have a lot of firepower under my control. There are, however, a few design requirements. Let's begin with the design process. I am to use the super battleship hull. I am supposed to build it at 115,000 tons, but I don't know why, but I can't do it. The 109,000 tons is the max. I'm supposed to have 12 18-inch guns, 6 8-inch guns, a whole lot of 5-inch guns, and 28 knots speed. So let's set that up. 28 knots speed. Double hull for the heavy cruisers and double hull for the battleships as well. The battle cruisers will be designed by the AI, but I will also do a design on the heavy cruisers. Now let's set these guys up with a nice amount of veteran crew, as these guys have been in several fights. Might as well. Equip armor. Considering the age, I suppose we're running on these 2 with full oil. A bit of an auxiliary engine, some shafts, anti-torpedo 2. I'm not going to go with a very heavy torpedo blister because they generally add a lot to your tonnage, and I still have to add a lot more mechanics. All or nothing armor scheme, all of the anti-flooding, reinforced bulkheads, potentially, but I generally don't find them that useful. So, I'm supposed to plonk down a lot of 18-inch guns here. Let's see if they can fit. Because they have to be 4 triples. Oh, they do fit. That's very nice. That's very nice indeed. And then I can copy that one over and put it there. Push this thing forward to help with the 4 weight offset. Throw down a secondary tower. I think, enlarged superimposed barbette should do it. That one goes there, and that one goes there. We're going to need a funnel system. That is fine. Let's say I want the Mega Funnel 1. Oh, sorry, Mega Funnel 3, that is. And that gives me 100% engine efficiency if I only use the 1, however. Let's go for 2. And I have only the option of natural boilers, because they are diesels. Okay, what else? 12 18-inch guns, check. But I want to make sure that those things fire very, very quickly. I want to have a very good radar guidance, or range finding. Let's give them a bit of an increased hydraulic system. Heavy shells, and when it comes to propellant, I want to make these things as deadly as possible. I don't think I need more shell pen. Shell damage is nice. Always is. This is plus 6% shell damage. Let's go for that place. And here, plus 20% shell damage. 27% shell damage, but higher flash fire chance. TNT 4. These are supposed to be the most modern ships in the fleet. Let's go with a bit of Braugh armor. Now, I also need to have 6 8-inch guns, as well as 24 5-inch guns. Let's start with the 5ers first. That means 6 per side, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I guess. There. And I need to fit in somewhere a couple of 8-inchers. I'm just not too sure where. Maybe here. If they're not too tall, that is. So that is 2 triple 8-inchers. Yeah, that should fit. And considering the firing arc, they should be very helpful in getting rid of a lot of destroyers and such. If there are any. There aren't, however. They do have light cruisers. Okay. I have a little bit of tonnage left, and I also have to still work on the displacement. No, not the displacement, the offset. Let's bring this back. Let's bring this back. Not that much, though. Because then I get a lot of aft weight offsets. I'm going to create a very stable firing platform for these guns. Let's go 1 touch. Yeah, like that. And this one, whoops. This one can come a little bit more forward. Slight aft weight offset, but that's fine, because I can... No, I cannot pull that one back. Okay, fine. I'll pull the second turret back. 0.2. I still have to add the other 5-incher back on. And I still have to add one more 5-incher, because now I have 10, not 12. I can post them here, although they do interfere somewhat in the firing arc of this gun. Still, I can fire a full broadside with all turrets, as risky as that could be. Okay, I suppose that is it for this design. When it comes to armor, let's see. Considering the range I want to be fighting at, which is about 15 to 20 clicks, I'm going to be on the edge of taking deck hits, probably. So let's say 5-inch. It's a bit too much. 4, 5. No, still too heavy. Reducing superstructure armor is a bit dangerous. Conning tower doesn't add up to anything. Can we go for around 6? Just 6 inches of belt armor? No? Go on. Go on. Mid-deck. That is basically the Citadel. There. Okay, so that's one of my ships complete. Now, off-screen I'll be designing the Yukon heavy cruiser. A little while later, the Yukon class are also complete. They are packing a very heavy firepower broadside, especially for heavy cruisers, which is 12 10-inchers, backed up by 8 5-inchers per side. No torpedo tubes to speak of, but they are heavily armored. 9-inch mid-belt, 5-inch forebelt, aft belt, and mid-deck. 2.5-inch foredeck and aft deck, 11-inch on the conning tower and on the turrets, and the superstructure is armored by 3-inch, which is actually more than the battleship. Alright, let's get these guys into the fight. Here we go, the lineup. My 2 battleships against their 3. My 4 battlecruisers against their 2, but they have a lot more smaller ships than I do. If these things are all packing torpedo tubes, I'm going to be in trouble. Now, let's see. What's my formation like? We got Wyoming, Tennessee, and Montana, Sentinel, Philadelphia, New Hampshire. These things are packing 14-inch dual barrels. These are the battlecruisers that were designed by the AI. They have one 7-incher, but a good amount of 4-inch guns. 64-inch guns, and another 54 2-inch guns. And that's 2-inch triples, plus another 16 dual barrel 2-inchers. These things should be interesting to use. Now then, the battle cruisers are backed up by the heavy cruisers, and I'm thinking of just making these one big division, since it is difficult enough to manage these as is. I don't want you to screen, I just want you to fall. No, not even fall, just gonna move steady. The enemy is all the way over there, so we're gonna turn the whole fleet around. Battleships that way, battle cruisers this way. Nope, we're not going to follow, we're just going to steady that course. Let's see what the Chinese brought. Their battleships seem pretty large, but their firepower is not that impressive at 16, 15-inch guns. I mean, it's nothing to snicker at. These things can definitely inflict a lot of damage, but with more experienced crew, better fire control, and better gun platforms overall, I'm hoping to shoot these things before they can even get close. A little while later, we have engaged the enemy. The first shots are fired from the Wyoming, and Tennessee is still building a firing solution. It's almost in range of the lead Chinese battleship. It's not just the Chinese battleships anymore, though. 2 of their battle cruisers have been picked up. These battle cruisers are packing 13-inch guns, which is going to be hell for my heavy cruisers, but against my battleships, I'm not particularly concerned. And we have a first hit on a Chinese battleship. I should have renamed one of these things the Razgriz, but okay. Even at almost maximum range, the 18-inch guns are already at 7.3% accuracy. And that's the Wyoming. Tennessee it's already at 8%. It's even better. And we should be getting a salvo very shortly. The battle cruisers don't have nearly the same range, because these guys can hit out to... I can't quite tell you. 30 clicks, I guess? That's the 5-inch. 19-inch for... sorry, 19 kilometers. Yeah, we can hit at 36 kilometers. The battle cruisers don't do nearly that well. They do 23.6. So I have set them up as a bit of a sort of screening force for the battleships. So that's the Sentinel, Philadelphia, Hampshire, Montana. And they are still moving into position. And in front of that, I want to have the heavy cruisers to intercept anything that looks like a light cruiser and that has the potential to throw torpedoes my way. Speaking of, this is a light cruiser, and it does come with torpedo launchers there and there. Aside from that, it has 18 6-inch guns, backed up by a fleet of 2-inch guns. A lot of both my ships and their ships are relying on 2-inchers, which are really not going to be that much of an issue. We got hits on both of these ships, but I want to focus on this one. The issue with the battle cruisers is that they have a green crew, so they're not nearly as accurate as I would like them to be. They do have stereoscopic rangefinder, but I'm not too sure about their ability to use radar, because there are so many things in that list that the radar follows right beyond RDF, and I can't see that. So I don't know what sort of range finding they have. Another couple of hits on the battleship. It looks like at this rate the battleship's not going to be here for a long time, or rather for a short time. It looks like it's going to be dying pretty quick. Interestingly, I'm not even targeting this guy. I'm targeting this guy. And yet, there we go. And yet, we are already hitting the second ship, which is indicative that we're missing the target by 2 kilometers. Alright. Yeah, we're going to continue the screen. If not officially. Of course, we have a mess of a formation. So far, I've already done 1.4k damage, and the enemy has nothing to show for it. Once again, we have a formation fuck up here. The Wyoming is doing 25. Tennessee is doing 17, although she can go faster. She appears to be trying to get faster, but effectively is slowing down. Now, the mission here is to sink all of the enemy battleships. Both of their battle cruisers and 6 out of 12 cruisers. My plan to do that is to wipe out their battleships first, target their heavy hitters, eliminate those. Once those are down, I can then proceed and push the battle cruisers in to deal with their battle cruisers, and the heavy cruisers will eliminate any of these lighter ships. They are already in range. Unfortunately, I didn't think to upgrade the crew training level on these ships, heavy cruisers, so we are operating these with cadets, which is less than ideal. Why did you get hit? Are you... Oh, they're under threat from the battle cruisers, that's why. One of the battle cruisers got a hit on the light cruiser. No. Light cruiser? Yeah, that's a light cruiser. The heavy cruisers are these boys, far behind the rest of the ships, and they're packing 8-inch guns, so they're not necessarily that dangerous. One of these battleships is already half health. The second one has also been hit, the third one not yet. And they are still unable to return fire. What is their maximum fire range? 25 clicks. They could hit the battle cruiser, the Sentinel, which is a very fitting name. Fuck this formation system, like with a passion. This thing is so broken. This is one of the things that really sucks the enthusiasm that I have for the game right out. Because I have the Philadelphia, it has no obstruction whatsoever. But it's just not moving. Sentinel, tight formation. 16.5 knots. Could you please make your way to meet up with your friend? Oh, Norfolk has taken a hit. Yeah, the party's on now. The heavy cruisers have decided to open up against their light cruiser counterpart. And the light cruiser is under all sorts of destructive fire. The battleship has been identified. It's the Hualong. 0.9 accuracy. Oof. What sort of systems do you have? You got Radar Gen 2, Coincidence Rangefinder 3. Few bulkheads. Interesting. Spacious quarters. Quarters for crew take up a lot of room. I generally go with cramped quarters. Or standard. Generally not spacious, because I don't really see the benefit. I have taken... Ah, there we go. How long is flooding? Pennsylvania is also in firing range. Let's see. I'm taking quite a bit of fire with my heavy cruisers. These light cruisers are going to torpedo me at a 9.8 kilometer range, which means I still have a bit of leeway to play around with. That's good. That's really good. I want these three these three heavy cruisers to split off. So that means I'm going to take the Helena, Bremerton, and Pennsylvania and set up a different division. There. We're going to move directly to their side. The battleships are going to maintain their pressure on the lead battleship, the Hualong, which is actually starting to get a bit more accurate. But not nearly as accurate as it probably should be. Let's see, could the battle cruisers hit this with their 14-inch guns? Yeah, they can hit it and they can pen it too. Which is excellent, because then my heavy cruisers can deal with the threat of the light cruisers. For some reason, I have an idea why. Formation system. The Jingzhou has completely stopped. It's doing 6 knots. Okay, it hasn't completely stopped, but not far off. Still an intimidating sight, these 18-inchers. Wyoming, why are you dropping accuracy? Is that ship maneuvering? Yeah, Hualong is turning, probably to avoid any further encounters with 18-inch shells. Good luck with that. It's trying to fall to a different position in the formation. Let's see. The heavy cruisers are starting to take a little bit of damage. Their accuracy leaves a lot to be desired. Montana, what is your deal? You are speeding up, but doesn't really look like it, does it? Sentinel, don't get that close to the Wyoming, because you're presenting one big target. Looks like we're going to get a pretty quick kill on the Huolong. Considering how much fire it's taking, it would be surprising if it didn't go down very quickly. And the other ship is even closer, I think. 21 there. Oh, they're pretty even. These guys are seasoned crews, but they're only 13-inch. Which means that they don't really have a good chance to pen the Razgriz class battleships. So far, this encounter is going very, very well. I just hope that I have enough ammo. Because there are a lot of ships that need to be taken down. Destroyed main gun? Oh, it's not the first either. A and B turret look okay. I mean, the A turret's seen better days, but it's not dead. That one's down. How did you find it? Looks like she's heavily flooding. Flooding could be the end of her. Could be a pretty quick death. More flooding. We can get one or two more hits in her stern. Capture's taking a hit from an 8-inch gun? Okay. Come on. Yep, that's the lead battleship. Toast. Next one is the Yuying. I want the battle cruisers to also engage that. You're over there, 18 kilometers out, 15 kilometers out. Although it might be more beneficial to use my battle cruisers here, New Hampshire, to, yeah, they've torpedoed a heavy cruiser. Oh, crap. Shit. That's less than ideal. Heavy cruisers do have some torpedo protection and a lot of bulkheads, but it's still going to hurt a lot. Let's see if I can pull the Helena out of the formation and have her just try and limp home. Retreat. Heavy cruisers, you're going to have to do better at taking out these light cruisers because they are deadly. Especially with the torpedo launch. There's the torpedo launch against the heavy cruiser. Assuming Helena. Montana, are you actually catching up? Yeah, Montana's now doing 30 knots. That's good, finally. And we are already crippling the second battleship. Sentinel that way. Let's have you guys engage the battle cruiser here. I'm doubting my ability to hit these targets, especially all of these light cruisers with my 14-inch guns. Whereas the battle cruisers shouldn't be that much of a difficulty. Should be pretty easy to hit. There's the amount of shell fire going back and forth though. Yuying is getting reduced to scrap. Destroyed secondary tower, flooding on all the vents. And my battleships, well, Wyoming has taken a little bit of damage, but generally it's nothing to worry about. We're fighting 14 clicks out, which is about where I want to be, but no closer than that. Let's see, do we have any more torpedo issues? Not necessarily torpedo, but the Pennsylvania has taken too much damage. Let's get you home. You're operating 6 kilometers away from a battleship, or a battle cruiser. It's no surprise that you're taking this much damage. These other guys are still too far away. New plan. High explosive shells against the light cruisers. 2% chance to hit. Oh god, you got torpedoed, didn't you? Yeah, you ate 3 torps. Alright, Montana. That's it then. Let's get the Montana to leave. The battleships are going to have to take up the slack here. They're almost done plowing through this battleship here. Oh god, the battleships are 16 clicks out. Helena falling back. We got the Bremerton at full health. Ow. This thing is done. Flooding is going to take the Yu Ying down. There she goes. Battleships. Target the Yingao. Sorry, the Gengyao. Need to get rid of that one. Wyoming has taken a bit of damage, as she has been on the receiving end of quite a few 13-inch and 15-inch shells. This, however, is an interesting target here. If I can engage the Gengyao and accidentally miss, I can get a hit on the Nenjang, and if it still flies low, or flies far, I can get the Lund. But I don't expect too many misses from the battleships in this range. It's 13 kilometers out, we have an accuracy of about 70%. Very high pound chance. That was a couple of hits. Very, very quick succession. Probably one salvo. And the Yingao is immediately down one engine, down a rudder, fire, and flooding. These 18-inchers don't take any kind of shit from anyone. These 2 battlecruisers are absolutely fine. There goes the light cruiser. Wait, I actually hit the light cruiser with a torpedo? I saw the battlecruiser launch torpedoes, just didn't think they would hit them. Because that, I think, was the New Hampshire, which fires 20-inch torpedoes. They're not even that big. But they sure are deadly. Nice. Okay, that's the Helena falling back. We got the Bremerton here, which is operating pretty solo. And the other heavy cruiser group is falling back way too far. There goes the 3rd battleship. So now let's start bullying some battle cruisers. We have now taken to targeting the the Luan. What are we targeting with the battleships? Oh, battlecruiser here. Right. Oh, you're going to be in a bit of trouble then, aren't you? Secondary guns on the Zhangzhou. Battlecruiser instantly got reduced to 50% health. They're flooding quickly. And it seems to be a trend that the AI builds ships, mostly, with few bulkheads. There goes the battlecruiser. Next battlecruiser is the guy back here, Luan. It too is not having a great day. Then again, 18-inch shells don't really disarm anything. There you go. Destroyed secondary tower, destroyed one of the turrets, destroyed a barbette. Although I still don't exactly know what the barbette damage does. Shit. The light cruiser here launched torpedoes at me against the battleship, so I'm assuming that's the Tennessee. Tennessee, you're going to detach. You don't turn very well, do you? You got an 1180 meter turning circle. So your ability to get out of the way of a torpedo is very, very limited. Whack this light cruiser over the head, there goes the battle cruiser. 2% chance to hit? Green cruiser really terrible. What got you? 18-inch high explosive shell, probably, from one of the battleships. Yeah, it was the Wyoming that did that. Got quite a few torpedoes coming in from the light cruiser. Tennessee is going to take a few on her stern, which will probably knock out my rudder. There's the rudder down. There's another one. Yeah, not terrible. Alright, so we're just cleaning up. The heavy cruisers are the most dangerous ships, potentially, if you're not counting their torpedo tubes and lights. And all battle cruisers are eliminated, all battleships are eliminated. It looks like the Chinese are going to go home. Or potentially not even go home. Switch these to high explosive. Sentinel took a hit, but she can take it. How are you so bold? What's the deal here? Oh, you're harassing the Pennsylvania, are you? Completely forgot about the Norfolk's division, again. This is why I don't like large-scale encounters, because I very easily tend to lose the complete overview of the battle. Both due to having a lot of ships, and to having to do commentary at the same time. Are these things packing torps? They are. 9.8 kilometer range, 20-inch ammo. Again, a couple of high explosive hits and this thing's dead. Structural integrity is dropping, buoyancy is dropping. It feels like another just cakewalk. Which is sad. I want the AI to put up more of a threat. It's just not doing it. I wonder if I can stop a battleship like the Wyoming fast enough. So I'm putting a ship in full reverse to try and dodge the torpedoes. I'm probably stopping directly in the path of all the torpedoes. Yeah. I thought I tried again, but the only thing that happened was eating all the torpedoes instead of fully dodging half of them. Come on, let's show the Chinese that they're not welcome here. There goes the Jingzhou. Next. Secondaries on the heavy cruiser. Tennessee took another hit. Little shit. Was that you? How did you take a torpedo hit? From what? From a light cruiser? Well, that was definitely you then. There goes the heavy cruiser. Get some revenge in, Tennessee. Before somebody else kills it. Go. Down. I know I'm probably already done with the mission, technically. Oh shit. Completely forgot to micromanage the New Hampshire, which is down to 1% buoyancy and 26% structural integrity. Oh well. If I lose one battle cruiser, it's going to be a bit sad, but it could have been a lot worse. Let's get the Hampshire out of here. If possible. And start pushing in again with the battleships. I need to very quickly start to get rid of especially this one over here, but it's a small target. Uh-oh. Oh dear. I cannot take one more torpedo. Turn, New Hampshire. We've got a spread of torpedoes coming for you. You can't hit shit, can you? Well, they already did 6,500 damage, which is 10% of the damage of the entire fleet. It looks like the New Hampshire is about to survive the encounter with just 1% buoyancy. So it's like there was one compartment that was not flooded. The rest of it, toast. But hey, overall, I think I have not lost a single ship. Because I got 1, 2, 3, 6 heavy cruisers, 4 battle cruisers, and all my battleships. The Chinese really didn't stand that much of a chance. You should be dead. Next is the Nanjing. Wyoming and Tennessee are going to need a reload. Not too soon, or not too late from now. 2156. Was that a high explosive? Yeah, that was one high explosive shell. Immediately wiping out most of the bow of the ship. They have contained the flooding. Talking about basically drowning half the crew. Shit. They launched against a battleship. So that must be the Tennessee. Rudder max from starboard. Slow down a little bit if possible. Crap, there goes the Bengbu. Light cruiser. So that means they only got the Kai Feng and the heavy cruiser over here left. With a broken rudder, I really cannot do that much to dodge. But maybe I could just kind of slip through here. There we go. Tennessee's fine. 109,000 tons of steel. Just got out of the way of a few torpedoes. Okay, so that's the Kai Feng. That's the last ship. Means that the Ocean fleet took no losses. And the Chinese fleet just got wiped out. No survivors. Nothing. 1,561 damage from the high explosive and done. So, that confirms the supremacy of the Ocean fleet. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what your thoughts are down below, and I shall see you soon for more videos.